Alright, hey guys, I know I haven't uploaded in a while, and I seriously apologize for that. I actually intended to be back here a while ago, but, I lost my favorite headphones at my cousin's house, and honestly, I've been having a bit of a problem with my, OBS lately, and the fact that, for some reason, my computer seems to want to be a lot less, cooperative than it usually is. I know, I'm probably just making up, excuses now. But in any case, this is your bro Jericho here, and I'm not actually going to put this in any kind of speed paint, per se. I intend to leave this as is, and just kind of, like, check in with you guys, I guess. I haven't been doing a lot. I intended to do speed paints, and I couldn't even do that, but I haven't really found the, what is that? I haven't had the inspiration to draw recently, so I figured I'd give this a shot and see where I can go with it. Maybe I can make something of it, For the time being, I intend for this video to be talking first and speed paint second. I want you guys to know what's been going on in my life, so maybe I can redeem myself a little bit, Anyway, my ranting aside, so yeah, this has been a very busy few weeks for me. To tell the truth, I did get absolutely, well, I did get drunk on my birthday. Big whoop, 21st, not surprised. And I made an ass of myself, and I kind of have been really, really embarrassed about that, so I haven't uploaded it, and I won't, only because, why would you, you make a complete ass of yourself, you want to forget that that night even existed, and that's pretty much exactly what I intend to do. So anyway, yeah, that aside, I, yo!
For a sec.
No?
Live stream?
Yeah, well, not live, but, just ranting.
Can you edit it after this?
I suppose. Haven't been doing anything.
Mainly because I'm going to be dressed.
It's not like anyone's watching. This is literally, audio only.
Are you recording?
I'm recording the I'm recording the drawing, and I'm recording the voice. There's nothing else.
Yeah, get rid of this voice. Okay.
Dude, come on, man. You're not some kind of celebrity you have to hide from the paparazzi, I swear to God.
Please just edit out my voice.
Why? It's not like you had a
This
problem.
conversation's going on too long. Edit out from the moment I entered the room.
Sorry, I'm already drawing.
I'll be quiet. I have to use mute for a second.
I suppose, but then things go...
I prefer if you do.
Well, let's do
I'm
that.
holding my dick. Now you have to hold that.
Not necessarily.
Yes, you do.
I can just remind YouTube that you're just being a douche.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly like, like I have anyone on my page who's aggressively trying to censor all my videos right now.
Could you please just remove it?
What a diva.
Really?
I'll think about it. You're getting no better from me.
And... cut.
What a diva. I swear to God. The guy, like, thinks that if anyone sees him talking, or sees him in the videos now, I don't even know what he thinks, but all I know is he's very rude lately. I don't know what I'm drawing. Maybe Zale. Yeah, I'll draw Zale. Why not? Gotta get those candy cone horns. That one isn't necessary. And so I'll just leave that there. And let's see. Back to the airbrush, because candy corns... I decided to have the fucking elf ears. Why? Why not? But in that regard, that means I'm going to draw a scarf. We'll start with the pretty much turtleneck, I guess. I don't really know how to put his shirt of choice. As per most trolls, Zale has a very, very bland palette. So, let me go back to airbrush, because he actually has a very tall collar. As far as my storyline goes, he actually has a valid reason for that. It's just that the lava lands are very unforgiving, very harsh, and he really can't afford to get anything hot under the collar. I'm funny. Anyway, he pretty much cannot afford to get anything in his shirt, so for the time being, he just kind of... how do I put it? I don't know. But in that regard... So, I set Zale with a couple interesting things. First and foremost being his eye color. I gave Zale a very, very unique set of eyes. Like the joke, I have special eyes. Anyway. So angry. Okay, I think I'm funny. Hold on. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. I actually intend to do something with this. So yeah. I guess I'll just kind of fiddle with this for the time being and see what I can come up with, you know. So, I never actually put a lot of thought into Zale's god tier, ironically enough. Like, you know how a lot of the Homestuck people, you know, they'll it's almost like they go god tier first and then work on everything else, which, you know, I can kind of sympathize with, you know, I thought about it myself. I just never came up with anything for his god tier that I agreed with, so I just kind of didn't make anything. For the time being, if there's one thing I have down for him, it's probably his outfit, but that's because it is a little bland, you know. And I feel like the button's on the wrong side for that. God, I can't remember if you go, you know, oops. Was it buttons this way, or was it buttons this way? Shit. Okay, bear with me, guys. I don't remember which direction buttons usually go. I'm going to go with this one. Okay. So that means before I erase that, I'm going to want to go buttons this way. And there we go. I'm going to want that little wrinkle there. Boom. Okay, now I can erase these guys. Sorry, guys. I try to keep most details pretty accurate. You know, at least as far as, you know, lost my train of thought. Oh well. That happens pretty often, as it turns out. So, anyway. Yeah, it's been pretty busy for me lately. You know, a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you'd think, and I apologize profusely for this, you'd think with my shitty hours recently at Office Depot, you'd think that I would have, I don't know, recorded more. I didn't feel up to it, I guess. I had a bit of a Napstaton moment. I'm not really feeling up to it right now. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, I literally don't have any other reason for not recording, and to which, once again, I apologize. I really did mean to upload more since I had more time myself. I just kind of didn't, I guess. I don't know. Well, that's Troll down. You know what? Let's go through a couple of my characters. So, this is Zale. One syllable. Zale Vantus. That's one down. Let's move this over this way, and we'll start working on my second character. You know what? Let's go Twitch. Anyway. So, honestly, I know my profile pic on Facebook is this busted down, you know, ruined, animatronic that I just named Twitch. And, yeah, that's kind of what it was supposed to be, but that's because I was bored one day and started doing a whole, you know, collective of styles for the bots, and one of the ones that seemed to stick was Phantom, you know, FNAF 3. So I went with that and made Twitch. Classic story, you know, same as usual. Let's see, so I'll just do it that way. Anyone who knows me personally, hold on. Anyone who knows me personally, you know that Sonic the Hedgehog is where I started with my, you know, OCs. I'm embarrassed by it, but, you know, what can you do? Let me try this again. Let me get a better head shape first, maybe. Let me turn this down a bit. So anyway, yeah, anyone who knows me, I started my furry drawing career with Sonic the Hedgehog throughout my middle and high school years. Well, mostly high school. I used to draw furries before that, but, you know, most of us don't talk about that time in my life. Unpleasant, inappropriate, all the like. You know, like most young teenagers, except a little worse. Anyway, moving on. I kind of have this offhand style I use for this, that I don't really draw so much my own things as I just adapt what I learn, what I see. And, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me think. Twitch was supposed to be very... I made a very difficult frame for drawing him. And I sometimes regret it, sometimes don't. It really depends on where my mind is at. Let me think. Let me set his little lines here, and then I'll worry about... that's a little better. Unless I can work with that. So, I didn't make things easy on myself, unfortunately, which, you know, evident by my ranting about it. And he tries to get his head, you know, direction and shape, potentially, right? And in some of my role-playing groups, I actually added a second bot. I think those people on my Facebook that are in that role-play group can sometimes remember him, probably not. He did only show up like maybe 3 times. but Stripe, with a bit of a try-hard spelling, you know, S-T-R-Y-P-E. And he's supposed to be just this little cat. When I first made him for my Five Nights at Willy's, which, if you know that, shame on you. But it was a project I was working on for a while. It was one of my AUs for the Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, craze. And, you know, it kind of took off, kind of didn't. It gave me something to do with my need to make Five Nights OCs, but in the same process, it also pretty much degraded my faith in humanity and myself, so I kind of let it go for a while. Anyway. For my role-playing group, I actually made Stripe, like, he seems like he's his own being, but for the most part, he's pretty much just an extension of Twitch. He's this little white cat with painted-on red stripes because Twitch was bored, and he's supposed to be like this kind of helper, but after a while, he was meant to develop this kind of, what the fuck do you want attitude, you know, pretty similar to most OCs, really. Like, he eventually earns this, like, disdain towards most things Twitch does, because the idea was that he would get this belief that Twitch was, like, losing his mind or something, so, like, he would disagree with Twitch on most things, because it's like, why would you do something like that, you know? I don't know. I was supposed to use Twitch troubles, but I didn't know what the heck. That'd work. So yeah. Also because Twitch in my role-playing is a tinker, so, you know, he's kind of like, his whole skill is to know and fix. You know, anything he sees, he can do, as long as he has the ability to do so. But this is just the role-playing, mind you, so, you know, that doesn't carry along to the rest of my stuff about Twitch. Well, most of the stuff I do is, for Twitch, you know, standard MO for bots. He's like this benevolent being in the FNAF 2 setting. Like, he was supposed to be one of the only bots on your side, the only one that wasn't affected by a puppet. However, as that seems a little cringy, you know, rogue bot, like I used to use my old Foxy, I kind of dropped that for the most part. I mean, he'll still stand up for the guards, but for the most part, he doesn't really do a whole lot anymore. Anyway, once again, I'm ranting and making things hard on myself. And what I mean by that is the whole drawing I have in mind here. Yeah. I usually don't make things easy. So I think I might be getting a little involved here, and, you know, usually I wouldn't say that's bad, but I'm supposed to be, like, you know, checking in more than, you know, being creative. Like, don't hug me, I'm scared, says, you thought you'd never be creative again. Anyway. So... Anyway, getting off topic. For the most part, this little video of mine, and this video of mine is mostly meant to be just me being ranting and random and stuff like that, which I think it's doing pretty well at doing that. I just thought I'd have more substance, you know, something more to give to you guys. And sorry if I'm kind of disappointing you guys. I tend to lose track of everything I'm doing rather frequently. Just thinking. So, in case you guys didn't know, I do a couple different fandoms momentarily. The majority of it right now is just Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, what the heck? You know, after the game series I've been doing, and, you know, this and that, you know. After doing all the fan games and stuff. Aha, that's what I do. Yeah, because obviously it wasn't evident by my entire FNAF fan game run. Anyway, losing complete track of what I'm doing. I myself, guys, I do a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's. I greatly enjoy my Homestuck stuff occasionally, but right now I am trying to get my computer to cooperate with Amnesia. it's not so much that it can't handle it, because we know Amnesia is a bit of an older game, so, you know, the specifications necessary to even run it are, you know, a lot less demanding. It's just, it doesn't want to agree with my OBS for the moment. I would do a lot more games, but I found out Unity does not like OBS. The two don't agree with each other. Neither does the Unreal Engine, as it turns out. Which is why, even though I have played a few rounds of Dead by Daylight, I can't record it because I'm usually lagging even without trying. And I don't want to test to see how bad the lag's going to be. Or even if it does what, you know, KF2 would do, which is to freeze for long periods of time and show nothing more than just one random screenshot. And still record all the sound just fine. But, you know, basically what I want to say is, you know, I appreciate all the support I have right now, and I can't wait to make more friends on my YouTube channel, you know, make a bigger community, and really, thank you guys. Granted, I'm not ending the video here, I'm just saying my thanks, because I feel like I don't say it enough for everything you guys have been there, you know, with me for. Also, your bro Jericho greatly enjoys his whipped cream. That is my happy medication, you know. As much as I love my full throttle, occasionally just whipped cream helps. Moving on. Back to the drawing, I suppose. I think I made this pretty messy. Like, cleaning this up is going to be a pain. So, for those of you who know Twitch, his whole design is supposed to be edgy, you know, gamer type. So, of course, you got the fingers, gloves, the headband, and I've had a bit of trouble deciding on what I wanted his outfit to be, which, you know, is probably the most important part. Like, part of me says don't bother with it and leave him pretty much like the regular Five Nights cast, but I couldn't do that for some reason. It didn't sit right with me. So, I've been having a bit of argument with myself back and forth on that one. Basically, when I first made him, he was supposed to be this sarcastic and sardonic bot that was supposed to entertain the teenagers. And, you know, this is back when I was role-playing with my old friends, back in the early Five Nights craze I had. I decided I would actually step up his what would you say, gamer appeal at the time, and added this goofy-looking robe. And, you know, if you catch me at a brave moment, I'll show you guys sometime. And what it was pretty much a, like, almost regal medieval cloak, because I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I love a good cloak. You know, like, gamer status, you know, like, some of the things you find in some of the older games. I love dresses like that and stuff like that. But he also had this, what would I say? When I first made him, he had a cloak, and then I updated it to where he had, like, a sweater tied around his waist, which, you know, neither of which looked very, what would you say, mature for a character? And so for a while, I pretty much scrapped the entire idea. Which, I mean, I'm still at odds with whether or not to add that back in, but, you know. For the moment, I'm just trying to get my drawings and all my other stuff back up to par, because lately I've been letting my drawings go. They've been getting very sloppy, they've been getting very, you know, messy, and not what I'm okay with. Like, it just doesn't feel like I've done a good job, and then I feel all embarrassed. So lately I've been working at making my drawings a little higher quality, something I can be proud of, you know? Updating their own style, per se, to something I can actually work with. And thus, I get my, for those of you on my Facebook page, you would recognize those as my Goldie picture I was doing, you know, the Golden Freddy, and I did a drawing for a friend that turned out to be kind of a waste of my time. But I did good, at least. And I'll show those pictures at the end of this video, at least as far as I've gotten. And, you know, with my broken bun I was doing, oh my withered Bonnie. My broken bun I was doing, that was supposed to be, like, my current project, but I let it go. I kind of haven't revisited that, because I don't have the confidence to go back and say, you know, I'm going to finish this video, or what have you, because I don't feel like I could do it justice, because of how far I've gotten. So I've been kind of nervous about that. Haven't revisited it since. A little embarrassed, but, you know, what can you do? I mean, if you guys want me to revisit it, I most certainly will, and you can go ahead and leave that in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to respond to that. As you guys know, I pretty much live on my YouTube sometimes, so, you know, what the heck. In any news, yeah, sorry if I seem a little distracted or what have you. I have been kind of losing track of what I've been trying to do lately, and it does not make me feel good, so I've been kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know? So anyway, I gotta remember how I set his strike pattern. What the heck, I'll worry about that later. How's it out for a boss with freckles? Anyway. So, I did a really, really edgy thing. I set Twitch with a couple of little gifts in my role-playing group that I'm not sure I should have done, and among them are his ability to, what I nicknamed, mend, which is to say, if he, say he sees an injury, Twitch can immediately look through that injury and can decide the best way to fix it. Let me go ahead and set this a little brighter so that I can see what I'm doing. So, well, actually, let's leave the saturation. It's fine. I need to fiddle with brightness and contrast. I don't think I do. Anyway, getting off topic. Basically, I had this idea that said, you know what? Let's make it to where Twitch can fix things. You know, who doesn't want to fix things? And the idea is that Twitch, if he were given, you know, a second to look at an injury, he could go, oh shoot, you need, you know, this and this. You need even anything as simple as needing maybe getting off topic. Say, I don't know. Aha! Say you made a mess of something, i.e. broke a arm on the inside, you know, like a... Oh, in case you guys are wondering, I'm actually doing this with my mouse, because I found that I'm a lot more accurate with my mouse, and I feel more confident in my strokes. Like, editing with a mouse, to me, seems like it's a lot more accurate. It seems like it flows better. Let me see. Do it that way, and then I'm going to end here, point, and then let's start bringing that back around. Round, round, there you go. Anyway, before I get myself in trouble with this, yeah, basically the whole idea of Twitch was that he could fix injuries just by looking at them and what happened. And that eventually earned him my little thing about being a tinker. Which, I mean, if you guys know me, being a tinker is like the biggest compliment. Because it implies that you can look, you can learn, and you can adapt. The idea of being a tinker is that you aren't stumped by something new. And that's what I wanted Twitch to be, except lately I just kind of turned him into this, like, knockoff Golden Freddy, you know? Like, Golden Freddy / fan marionette, where he's, like, this omnipotent being that kind of looks over everything, as if he were another... I don't know how to put it. Like, he went from being just a tinker to being... basically made him a little too powerful. And that didn't sit well with me. So, for those of you who have been keeping up in that roleplay group, which, I mean, I highly doubt you guys have. I don't really pop in very often anymore. I've been asking this question a lot, like, should I nerf him a bit? And the reason why I'm asking is because I feel like I've taken him too far. Like, I don't think he should have ever become as powerful as he has. And I only say that because I know that I hate it when people roleplay with me and their characters, like, for lack of a better term, God modded, you know? Like, he can fix anything, he can, you know, do anything. It's like, jeez, spend a bit more time, you know, adapting your actual character and not just his abilities. And that's kind of where I'm at with Twitch right now, because I feel like I spent more time working on his abilities than his character, and that made me feel embarrassed a little bit. It's like, you know, don't I have anything better to do than make another, you know, God bot? So there's that. I think I'm gonna set this way, and then I want to set that there. Let's do it. Oh, eraser now. Boom, and then edit, and I can bring that up this way and not deal with that activation. So yeah, I've been having a bit of a internal argument about Twitch lately. Sorry to be rambling like this, guys. I kind of didn't mean to turn it into a discussion about OCs, but, you know, it's just the only thing that comes to my mind right now. And the big reason is I feel a little embarrassed about making something that's supposed to be just another bot and end up being like another Golden Freddy, which, I mean, usually I wouldn't mind. It's important to have at least one of those, you know, for roleplay's sake, but sometimes they just get in the way. And that's what I was afraid of happening. Because that's exactly what it feels like he did. It feels like his ability got in the way of his character, and that was what I didn't want to happen. Because if your character's ability gets in the way of their personality, then why even have them? Like, character depth is extremely important to me. It's the difference between, you know, like, shoot. I don't know how to put this. It's just, it's important to me. So, let me go ahead and delete a couple of these guys. I don't need that. Anyway. Long story short, writer problems. Well, writer roleplayer problems. So, Zale Vantus. I know, original name. When I first made Zale, I was mostly trying to update the personality types without straying too far from their original design, you know? And to be honest, the biggest reason I made Zale the way I did is because I wanted someone that could be sassy and sarcastic while very kind and you know, helpful in the same note. And when I did, I came up with this kind of sardonic and very, very sarcastic and dry character that was very intelligent, but was very, very rude. Like, the things he said would be very passive-aggressive, very snide and sarcastic. He wasn't very friendly at all. Let me make sure that okay. And so, by the end of it all, I created this douche, really. But the thing is that, for the sake of role-playing, like, oh, he's too rude. Like, no one wants to be around someone that's going to insult him the entire time, like, you know. So, in my little internal struggle, I had updated his personality a little bit so that he was very rude, yes, but only to those that he felt were, I don't know, not, like, he was very rude, but only to those that struck him as very unkind. He's very, very polite, very educated, very posh, but a dick. Like, for lack of a better word, he was just a dick. You know, it's like, when I made him on my Skype, his very phrase was, you know, it's always good to see new friends, I mean, better to see, you know, it's good to see a familiar, good to see a new face, better to see familiar ones, so let me know if you have anything worth talking about, which in essence was being a douche and telling you that you weren't important. I was a little ashamed of myself after making that, but, you know, it was for the sake of, I don't even know, I'm not going to try to justify that one. That was me being a dick, really. But I had this idea that if I had a character that was very rude but nice at the same time, conflict of how would I put that? Basically, I wanted a character that could do both. Like, he could be very, very kind, but at the same note, he could also stand up for what he believed in. Because to me, that's always been one of the most important things about making the characters. I want a character that isn't a pushover, you know? Also, while I am doing a bit of... Oh, I think I made his chin way too far out. Zale was not supposed to be very masculine. He was supposed to be very skinny, and he was supposed to be very, very, I don't know how to explain what Zale was supposed to be. He wasn't supposed to be masculine. He was not supposed to be muscled or strong. He was supposed to be kind of weak and strong where he had to be. And that's where I had the most difficulty. Like, how do you make a character that is a leader in the Homestuck sense without making him... I don't know, maybe just writer's problems. Basically, creating Zale was a very huge task for me. You know what, I'm going to move that down this way. It'll make this so much easier. Let's go ahead and delete CP curve. Delete you right there. Oops, no, I want to delete that right there. Cool. And then edit. Go back to translate. And Boom. Haha! The edit hides a multitude of sins. Anyway, so yeah. As opposed to my talking, when I first opened this up, like, before I set down the first line, I had intended to play music in the background, but I know that if I play music in the background, I'm going to lose track of everything I'm doing. And apologies for those of you who wanted to watch this, you know, for maybe the speed paint aspect. I thought about making this into a speed paint, and then changed my mind at, like, the last second. Elf ears! Woohoo! The really cool thing about Homestuck in this regard is that I can pretty much give them vampire ears. And I'm not even lying, that is literally the design I used when I was drawing Legacy of Kain characters, is I used this ear style. Vampire ears. Whew. And then Alundra didn't help. Like, when I made Alundra, when I used to be drawing Alundra, and I'll provide a link to some of the videos about Alundra, he's hard to find now. He was basically this game from the PlayStation 1 era that was extremely focused on puzzles. And if you would put it this way, it was kind of like a PlayStation 1's rival of Legend of Zelda. With strangely focused but unfocused graphics, a little rustic. They focused mostly on, like, it was... I don't know how to describe it. I'll just leave, like, a link in the description or something to some of the videos. Getting off topic again. So, yeah, I, God, he looks like Raziel. Okay. So, let's go ahead and throw in the candy cone horns. I'm going to move them down a bit, because it seems like they're a little too high up there. So, let's go. Boop and boop, nubby. The Vantas and their nubby horns. I'm actually straying outside of my usual, what is that, style for drawing Vantas horns. Usually I would leave them very, very curved, I suppose, but they were more hook and stub, as if someone broke their horn. But I'm trying to experiment with a new horn style in this one. And ironically, this is going to be my Five Nights OC, Mark. And no, I don't mean like fan bot. I mean I actually made a fan night guard. This is originally going to be Mark, which was, you know, my when I first made Mark, he was supposed to be like one of those idiots that wasn't vigilant. Let me put it that way. When I first made Mark, he was supposed to be that idiot that got killed in, like, Night 2. And as such, I then made a story, because it's like, why would you make a character just for them to die, you know? And I kind of felt bad. So the very first thing I did as soon as I got that out of the way was I made a reason why. Something that people could sympathize with, you know? It's like, oh man, that must have sucked, you know? And alas, that's where I turned Mark from bland OC, you know, Vanguard to a fan bot. Because I merged Night Guard style with bot style and came up with this mix that was kind of a bit of both. Basically, the storyline went, he was this guard, and before he was a guard, he and his buddies went down to Freddy's for some reason. I think it was because one of his little cousins was having a birthday party or something. And in the story, Mark had a twin, like, looked just like him. And the twin pissed off Foxy. Now, we all know that's a very bad idea. Don't piss off the fox. Like, you don't want to piss off the fox anymore, you want to piss off Freddy. But that's what happened. And when the twin pissed off Foxy, Foxy remembered, and that was supposed to be like the turning point in the RP or his world, his life, because Foxy not only remembered, Foxy wanted revenge for that one, because he says, you know, that was like one of the most disrespectful things he's ever dealt with, and I can't blame him, you know. If I had someone pissing in my cove, I'd be pretty mad too. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So Foxy sabotages the door. Dun dun dun. And at this point, Mark doesn't know anything about Foxy sabotaging the door, you know? As far as Mark's aware of, the night's going to progress just like the first night. Well, he doesn't. After the first night, Foxy cut one of the wires. Plot hole convenience, really, because I don't have a way he could have done that logically without, you know, alerting everyone's attention in the entire pizzeria because there was an out-of-order fox in the office, but, you know, that was the idea. And Foxy went after Mark in, like, the first few minutes of a shift, which, to anyone who knows how that goes in Five Nights, if you have Foxy in the beginning, you must have done something wrong. Sometimes. Sometimes it's just luck of the draw. I mean, I got Golden Freddy pissed off at me in night one once. Don't ask me how I did that, I don't know myself. And at this point, I get very descriptive with what happened the rest of that night in regards to a very, very slow and painful death. So, role-playing with Mark Walters is very much trigger warning. You know, torture, gore, and crap like that. But that's what happens when you have a bot drag you to the freaking parts and services room himself and spend the rest of your shift putting on piece by piece and saving the mask for last. You don't... You can't make a happy RP after that. Like, it becomes, like, a vengeance RP after that. Which, you know, that's kind of what it usually was. But sometimes I would make it to where it was, like, vengeance against Foxy, which was the first thing Mark did, and sometimes it was vengeance against the entire goddamn pizzeria, which started one of the role-playings with one of my absolute best friends for the moment, though we don't talk much anymore. Getting sidetracked again. Let's see. Sorry, when I get focused, I get quiet. So, yeah. I mean, I suppose I should probably stop turning this into a rant about my OCs, but, you know. I feel proud of myself, you know? And sometimes I let that get the best of me. I would even go so far as to say I get a bit of a big head over it, but, you know. I think everyone feels pretty proud of their OCs. That's why you see so many of them. Which I'm not going to complain. I like a well-thought-out OC from time to time. It's just, I don't like mine joining the ranks of the whole get out of my face with this, I've heard enough about it, you know? I always feel embarrassed and afraid that's what it's going to be. Okay. I don't think the hair looks too terribly bad. Although I'm going to have to edit some of the later spikes here. Anyway. So, Zale Ventus. When I made Zale, I was working my final senior year, because I actually went through two. I was working my final senior year on Homestuck. And you know what, I'm not going to lie, I did lose focus of my schoolwork when I did, and I'm still kind of embarrassed about that. I could have graduated with better grades than I had, but, you know. Truth be told, I'm actually still kind of surprised I graduated in the first place, because I really did not have very good grades. I can blame it on whatever I want, but I really did not focus in school, and I kind of regret it. There's a lot of things that I should know and don't, and a lot of things I do know that I shouldn't. You know, potentially a lot of high schoolers in a nutshell, but I'm still pretty embarrassed about that. I feel like I could have done more, you know? Well, that and moving schools like every year or so after finishing middle school, that definitely didn't help in that regard any. I'm not making excuses for myself, I'm just saying that, you know, didn't make it any easier. God, that is getting very sloppy. But, hey, that's what the edit's for, right? Oh, I was probably going to extend it out further, and then bring that in. And then I'm going to want to... I'll have to edit that in a bit. Truth be told, I did not do very good in school at all, guys. And I regret it. So, I mean, if your bro Jericho has any advice, like any bro, do your best. And only now that I'm out of school and wish I had my personal wisdom that I'm spouting out now, I made this comment that every single subject in school can be broken down into something a little more palatable, I suppose you could say. In that, I made the comment that school is divided into 4 sections of your base credits. You have math, science, English, and social studies. And I usually talk about it in that order. And it goes like this. With my favorite phrase that I actually come up with, my favorite phrase I've ever heard, math is the language of the universe. It's the formula that everything is made in. Seems simple enough, right? Well, part 2 of that is math, language of the universe, and science is its translation, something we can actually start putting things to, whether it be physics or, geography, geology, anything. Everything that we know can be translated into a scientific, format. And that's where my comment, science is translation. Science is where everything can come from. My next comment is that your English class is literally nothing more than learning how to imply and infer personal opinions and stories. It's literally nothing more than stories. Which brings me to my last comment about social studies, which I had the most difficulty with. I'm not even going to try to kid you guys. And it goes like this. Social studies is nothing more than remembering people's short stories in proper timelines, and really when you get down to it, it's just learning how to factor everyone's short stories into the same time period. Now, I really wish I had this information a long time ago. It would have made my life a lot easier, and definitely would have removed a lot of difficulties I had with these subjects. Sloppy. And as such, since I work with, schools, and I work with kids going to school, and I work with teachers who are trying to help their students gain understanding on a subject that they know they don't want to even be part of in the first place, it hurts my heart to know that there are going to be so many kids that are having the same problems I am, and there's I feel like I want to help them. And lately, I'm afraid I'm doing more harm than good, because people don't really want to be helped anymore, and it makes me sad. Like, people aren't really in it to help each other or be helped anymore. It feels like we've reached this point where, as I'm sure you guys have seen that post on Facebook by now, about that guy that was talking about how America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. And I know that post. And I don't memorize it, per se, but it spoke to me on so many levels that made me want to cry. Because he's right, we're not. Like, he said we used to be, that we helped each other, and we didn't try to step on each other to get ahead. That we didn't, the way he put it, we didn't scare so easy. We aspired to intelligence. We weren't threatened by it. We didn't try to belittle it. Anyway, I'm getting off topic and talking about things that make me want to cry. So, really, if I were to share any advice with you guys, above all, it would be to stay true to yourself, and don't let a collective of ideas that never came from your head tell you what you feel. Because I think that was my biggest fear, was that I wouldn't fit in, and I didn't. Lately, I take a little bit of pride in it, because I adapted this really outcast mentality of, I don't fit and I'm not going to, which worked for a while, but then just made me even lonelier than I already was. So after a while, I stopped saying I don't fit in and I'm not going to, and I started devoting my time to making people's days a little brighter, making them smile a little bit more, which took a while for me because I didn't know how. What's up?
Unfortunately, it's time to go to sleep. I have school in the morning. I work in the morning. It's 11 o'clock.
Indeed.
Why does it say 69?
It's not. That's why I always mirror it.
I'm fucking with you.
Anyway, enough of my ranting for the time being. That was Bro Jericho just kind of checking in. Take care, guys. Good luck. And, as always, game on.